other moderators that you may resonate with, follow the pastor. And keep the chat lit. All right. So I want to thank you guys for pulling up to the late night. One of WAC 100 stages where we always keep it 100. And because we keep it 100 over here, it's only right that you guys get to know a little bit about a guy I've known just about all of my life that always keep it 100 also. He has pretty much established himself as a man that people love to hate just through his career choices alone. From bounty hunting to the repo man to 40 plus years of media broadcasting where he exposed corruption in our local government, police departments, and these shady ass churches. But don't get it twisted. He also has a big heart and has done a lot for our community as well. From providing resources, free forklift driving classes, discounts to sponsored CDL courses, feeding hundreds of needed families, bikes for school for children at Christmas, etc. And yes, so now he is the viral, multi-viral, cussing pastor on top of all of that. And also, he's newly doctrinated, a doctrine in humanities. So put some respect on his name and give him a big 100-side welcome, Dr. Thaddeus Augustus Matthews, also known as the Cussing Pastor. Good evening, Pastor.
Hey, Iris, what's up?
Thank you for pulling up to the late night. We got a lot of curious people on the stage. We got Drea. She is our leader in the late night. We got the queen of the 100 side. R&B is also in the room. So y'all can get started with y'all questions. He is a no-holds barred. He don't mind answering questions, but remember his clapback is fierce.
What's up, Cussing Pastor?
What's up?
Shit, nothing over here. Just celebrating Fuck You Friday. Just called my motherfucker. I had my girl call me. I just told her fuck you. You know what I'm saying? She ain't want to see my happiness.
So what's your question, brother?
Oh, I ain't had no question. God damn, he stiff. I just wanted to open it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's still. So you do know he do have Fuck You Fridays. He had Fuck You Tuesday this week. It's mostly Fuck You all the time. He has 0 fucks to give.
How long you been a pastor?
Oh man,
What's
so many
Fuck You
years.
Friday about? What?
It's about fuck you, man.
How the fuck you get a cussing? How the fuck you turn into a cussing pastor?
Do what now?
Cussing pastor.
He said, how did
What about it?
He said, how did you turn into a cussing pastor? Like, what led you down?
Y'all CTR for come on stage.
I've been cussing all my life, brother. And in 2017, there was something going on here in Memphis that I was involved in. That I was in my office and I went live and I was cussing in my office. It went viral. It went multi-viral. And someone added it to Facebook and they created the name Cussing Pastor. Well, I took advantage of the name, copyrighted and trademarked the name Cussing Pastor in December of 2017, and here I am.
So do you feel like, because I heard you say it before, I've been doing a little research on you. Do you feel like church is a business? Because I heard you mention like copyrighting your name and stuff like that.
Church is a business.
And why do you think that it's a business? Because I always thought it was just more like, spiritual kind of. That's what really turned me off about churches, because people.
Well, I mean, doesn't any church that you know have light bills and mortgages and bills to pay?
Yeah, I get the non-profit part, cause shit, I go to YMCA's and all kind of children youth centers and shit, but they don't be having helicopters.
What the helicopters got to do with what we're talking about,
Cause
brother?
a lot of them pastors be making a lot of money off of, like, the church. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know if it's like a business to y'all or how you feel about it.
Well, I mean, but it is a business. Uh, you have to do business to have a church.
So you feel like it should be for profit.
Well, I don't think that even though under the IRS codes it is a non-profit organization, but in all reality, the church is for profit.
Man.
Can't get mad at the man for telling the truth. First man I didn't heard tell the truth.
Oh God, you probably the first.
Everybody want to run around here and scream, "Oh, I get 10," but I said, "All right, you will not find the pastors if you really sat down and look over everything, especially one that don't do nothing outside of the church. You tell me he's surviving off 10%. Everybody in the super church, so it's a business. It's definitely a business. You're putting your time, your effort, you build your congregation. I think people caught up into whoever then started what, and they just feel like that's the right thing to do and the right thing to say. That 501(c) doesn't say anywhere that they restricted to 10%. So I'm with him on that one. What's up, my brother? How are you?
Go ahead, brother.
How are you, man? You're welcome to the 100 side, man. Appreciate you coming to grace the stage. I think you the second pastor we had on the stage, the first being my father. So I'm definitely a fan of yours. I used to check you out every day on social media. You cracked me up, but you was just real, so that's why I followed you.
Well, I'm still on social media every day from not from 7 unto 9 Central Time.
Gotcha. You gotta y'all pin up his Insta top and his link so people can follow him that don't.
My show every day is on YouTube.
Gotcha. You got a master link. They got all that on there. Your YouTube link, all your stuff. You got one? Where Dre's at? Dre's, does he have one?
No, but I will make it happen.
Yeah, look out for him and pin one up. That way we can put the one master link up that has all his socials. We can kill two birds with one stone. Who's moderating the room tonight, Dres?
This is courtesy of Iris and Imani and the rest of the squad.
So they got their Q&A together?
Imani?
Yes, we do.
Got you. All right, R&B in here. I think Captain Tazari, I said you're going to pull up one of the Israelite brothers.
I'm here.
How you doing, R&B? There you go. You can introduce yourself. Rakita. Pastor Rakita.
Not Pastor Rakita.
My Pastor Rakita.
She used to be a first lady. What do you mean? She used to be a first lady.
I used to be.
All right,
I don't know why you always say I used to be a first lady. I am a licensed minister and an ordained apostle. Okay. Hello.
All right now.
Hello.
R&B.
How you doing, Cussing Pastor?
I'm great.
We used to always talk about you. You might know my cousin Marlon Bradford. Do you know him? He's a pastor in Memphis, Tennessee.
His name is what?
Marlon Bradford.
Not offhand, baby.
Okay. All
Y'all
right.
hear them pastors do, not offhand, baby. Y'all check them out.
Not
Y'all
off-
stop sending your wives in there. Y'all stop
Not
sending
off-
y'all wives in there to get
Not
canceled.
offhand, baby. All right, now, Cousin Pastor.
So listen, Iris, don't let us get in your way. Keep your thing going. We'll chime in as you go on.
Oh, okay. Y'all not in my way. Pastor, is that something you want to tell us about yourself that people may not know?
Well, I mean, I'm 66 years old, so there's a lot to me. Iris, I've known you all your life, so if there's anything that you want to bring up or ask me, I'm an open book. I ain't scared of no question.
Speaking of
I
open book, oh, can I ask a question? Speaking of open book, right? Your book bullshit from the pulpit. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is about?
I was approached several years ago to do a book, and there was a ghostwriter that was involved in that book. And I've been in the church all of my life. I've been preaching since I was 15, 16 years old. I've been with some of the best, and I know the racket of the church. I know the bullshit that goes on in the church, from the teaching that we have done in the church, to the bullshit that Jesus was a white man. So I thought I would give the reality of what church is all about and what it gives, and that those of us who are church minded are not saints that just fell out of heaven. That there is a side of life or church life that we're all humans. So that I wrote the book, um, and it was really a bi- biography, and it talks about a lot of things that I've done in life, and in fact, there was a part in the book that dealt with uh, two different women that I was involved with at the very same time. So it was very interesting, and I think you can still get that book on Amazon.
So you say two women you were involved with at the very same time. So you had a first lady and a second lady.
I didn't either one was a first lady because at that time I was not married.
Okay.
Or he was just fucking.
I was just fucking.
All right.
Can I ask you something, Thaddeus?
Huh?
I said, can I ask you something?
Sure.
I want to pick your brain a little bit. What's your viewership on how society's relationship with God is? And the reason why I'm asking that is I feel like this generation alone, like this newer generation, has kind of strayed away from that. And I see the harmful and the damages that, social media and all of these other worldly things have kind of really affected the relationship that this younger generation has with God. What's your viewership on that? Do you feel like the youth has kind of strayed away from God?
Well, I think that this generation has strayed away from religion, not God. Religion. Um, Religion is not of God. God doesn't have a certain religion. He's not Baptist. He ain't Methodist. He ain't Church of God in Christ. So I think that this generation doesn't fall from what I call the bullshit from the pulpit. Uh, you don't fall for the the titles of I'm a Methodist, I'm a Baptist. I don't think that this generation even gives a fuck about all of these uh, religion titles. So I don't say that you fell away from God. In fact, I don't think that this generation has been taught about the awesomeness of God. That you lean to the understanding that your mama and them had, and the understanding of who you call your pastor, your elder, your apostle. You fall under that understanding and not the realness of who God is. Did that answer your question?
Absolutely, it did. Sometimes when I look at the quote, like lean towards faith, right, which
And
is
and I,
blind.
and darling, I can barely hear you.
Sorry, am I in the Matrix?
Nah,
Huh?
No,
your background is loud.
Oh, my apologies. I'm almost done. One.
Speak up.
okay, Pastor. And what do you see next for you?
I continue to live. At 66 years old, there's not no real whole lot that I have not done. Um, I just I broaden my scope on everything that I do and everything that I am. Um, I shoot for the stars. I want to broaden the brand on the custom pastor. Take my media work that goes back 45 years uh, to broaden it. That's what that's where I am right now.
And Slim Bad had a question he wanted to ask you earlier. Don't be shy now, Slim Bad. Go ahead and ask.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How's your health doing, brother? That's what I want to know, man. I know you had a little medical setback toward the end of the year, and just
Well,
checking on you doing.
I've been in the hospital 7 times in the last 2 years. Um, I'm holding on, man. I'm surviving. Again, um, I'm s- I'm 66 years old. So yeah, I got some medical issues. I suffer from congestive heart failure. I've had some bouts with that, but other than that, brother, hell, I'm holding on.
That's good to know, man. You hang in there, man.
There was also another question, Pastor. They wanted to know, have you ever hit me?
Hit you like what?
Oh
Man. Man.
Oh, that's
You've answered
hilarious.
the question
That
already.
was funny.
You mean have you and I ever fucked?
Yes.
Oh shit. Pastor said what?
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Oh,
Pastor said
Tell
whoa,
nigga.
wow.
What the
Okay.
Iris, you can tell them how well I knew your mama.
See that I told
Oh
y'all.
Wow.
Ain't that what I
shit.
told y'all he was
In
gonna
the
say?
biblical sense,
Passing.
since we're talking
Fucking
about it,
around,
Pastor,
nigga.
Hey,
did you
Pastor, what
tap
happened?
Iris's
With you
mama?
and her mama? Because she told
Right.
us something.
Oh shit. Yo,
Yo.
you
Let's
fucked
just
me
get to
up.
the bottom of it, man.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pastor
Yo, y'all
fucked me up with that one, nigga.
So, Pastor, like at one
pull
time, how
Captain
many?
Tazariot up.
What you
Huh?
said?
Hey, what's going on,
Pull
man?
Captain Tazariot up.
I'm
Yeah.
up. Yeah, I'm up.
Uh, Pastor, at one time, how many have you had in your like pulpit at once, like in your whole church congregation? How many women have been in there that you have slept with at one time? Like, what's the highest one? Because I know you be knocking them down.
I mean, are you asking me how many women I've ever slept with in 66 years?
Nah, that's in your church's active members.
Well, um, I'm not in the building now since the pandemic, so I'm doing what I do uh, virtually now. But I've known several women in the church.
Number though, Pastor. We need a number.
I'm
Sound like
not
he
gonna
You
was
get
ain't
no
gonna
fucking
get
her
damn
no
number.
ass
number.
in the.
Can half of y'all remember how many
You
women
ain't gonna
y'all
get
done
no
laid down
number.
with?
I mean, in the church,
Shit.
R&B, I can remember. Only
I'm just saying, can
it ain't
y'all
that.
remember?
The pastor would be the first to tell y'all that he get more pussy on accident than most of y'all get on purpose.
Nah, that's a fact though.
Yeah, that's how the pastor get down.
Down south
I,
pastor
I,
like
Who ain't know that?
and
Cap,
you know,
see, I like him
he
because he
keeping
keep
this
it
shit
That
real.
real.
nigga
You
keep
know what he
that
said?
shit super real, nigga.
Cap. When they
you know,
asked
I,
him
That
about the
nigga
listen,
real.
I've been fucking
One
most
mic.
of my life. Okay,
Pastor, don't answer those questions on here.
Hold on, one mic on
huh?
whack. What you said?
No, Cap. When I asked him
Mm.
about the 10% or whatever, he said the church is a business. What you talking about?
That
But
That,
nigga
go ahead,
is
Pastor.
real.
Continue.
that church is a business. It ain't
I have a question. So what is the youngest that you will go? I'm in my
The
40s.
the what now?
I said,
she
what is
said
the
the young.
youngest that you will go? The
The
youngest
youngest
you
I
would
ever
date,
fucked?
or no, that you would date, like at your age now,
Wait a minute. I couldn't really understand what you're saying. What's the youngest what now?
that you would date or fuck or whatever at the age you are now.
At the age I'm married now, so
Oh, okay.
uh,
Now she's saying if you wasn't married, how young would you go, bro?
I mean I don't look at the age. I look on the feelings, the maturity, uh, what we have in common. Uh, so I just can't declare an age. The woman that I'm married to now, I'm 20 years older than she is.
So that answers your question.
Answer
She
your
in her
question.
40s.
She
Right.
46.
Yeah,
He's
she
Yeah,
66.
yeah.
He
yeah,
She
46.
66, she
yeah,
She
46.
my age. She
Yeah,
right.
77.
yeah.
This nigga hitting my motherfucking work. He hitting my work.
This nigga,
Nigga hit my work around here,
that
man.
nigga is wild.
So I
So
mean,
yeah.
Say don't get it twisted.
yeah, I believe in fucking.
You you
I
you,
don't
you believe in what?
fucking.
Hey yo,
Yeah.
Where your church at, nigga? We fucking with it, man. I'm fucking with this nigga.
I'm
Uh,
looking now that the pandemic is over. I'm looking probably again to go and get a building for the assembling of a church. But I also realize that it is not how large your building happens to be. Because I've had large buildings, uh, but it's all about what you do, what you teach inside of that building, and how real you are about what life is in the building.
Absolutely.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because
Teach
you
yours
know,
and
a
don't
lot of
say.
preachers be condescending and they talk down on the people. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you keeping it real with people, people respect that more. Like you're not talking down on the people, you're speaking to the people. So we definitely salute and respect that, bro. So salute.
Yeah, and I have a question for you. This is R&B again. Um, how long have you been this radical? Like, when did this all kick in?
I've
Cause
been ra- I've been radical all my life, baby.
it's
Uh,
okay. Go ahead.
that's whack
I've
100 as a pastor right there.
I've been political minded most of my life. I've been involved in the happenings of, especially here in Memphis, uh, in the school system, in politics, in the church community, activism. So I've been out there, baby. I've been radical. I just, I'm so blunt that you can roll me and smoke me, baby. Uh, I just, I speak the way I feel, not the way somebody else teaches me. Because I read for myself, I study for myself.
Yeah, and the reason I was asking too is because I know when I first got into ministry, like it was super judgmental. Like I saw a lot of pastors that would do things behind the scenes, as it relates to, showing their radicalness. But when it came to them like being upfront with people, they were another way. And so, like, I just wanted to know, did you have that type of journey going into it, or you just came in like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the hell I want to do and speak how I want to speak, and I'm not candy coating for anybody.
Well, I mean, that's the life. That's the type of life that I live. It's a fuck them type of life. Uh, I don't give a fuck about what folks
Yeah, I
think about
like
me.
this nigga.
Okay. Uh, I do what I want to do. I don't. I haven't had a job in goddamn 45 years where I have to answer to anybody. So it's fuck you when it comes to how or what you think about me. You know, uh, I boldly say that as a preacher, I love God, I believe in God, but I am not perfect. You know, I I fuck, I like to drink, uh, I'll smoke a joint if I want to. Uh, I go where I want to, and I say what I need to say, or what I believe is real, and that's who I am, and that's who I've been basically all my life.
Do you
You
get?
know,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
do
cut
I
you.
get what now?
Do you get a lot of, as far as like other pastors? Do you find yourself getting a lot of invites, or none? Are you kind of like a loner when it comes to that? Because I know
I'm
people that
alone.
just.
I don't get any invites.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
my type of guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
as a
get preachers
Muslim, I'll
who
go to his church.
I got preachers who will say that they are my friends and all that, but they won't invite me to their churches to speak.
Now you a real one. Do you know? Do you think you know the reason why other pastors don't move the way you move? Because they might have had the same background as you, but they act uppity, like they never did nothing in their life, and they
The
just was
sheep.
good their whole life.
Well, I think that has I think that excuse me, I think that has a lot to do with it. Um, that you live there is a criteria that a lot of preachers feel that they've got to fit, and that's the criteria of what everybody else has to say and what everybody else thinks about them. That has to be the criteria. You know, I often say, especially with preachers who say that they don't fuck, they don't like big asses. I like big asses. I like I like big titties. I like wide asses. I love thick women. Okay. Uh, and when I hear preachers talk about, I don't like that. That's a sin. I tell people that if your pastor does not like a big booty woman, 9 times out of 10 he likes a big booty boy.
Talk about it.
That's a
Preach.
fact.
This nigga is too real, man. This nigga
That's
is
a
Talk
real.
fact.
about it.
Hey,
This
Thaddeus,
nigga is
And he is an
real.
Aries, Wack. He is an Aries,
Oh
y'all.
shit,
Understand?
Aries gang, salute.
do you feel like you're setting a tone and or a standard with you humanizing yourself? Because I think the viewership of like people who are religious figures and or pastors, sheiks, so on and so forth, is like these holy, godly, can never be like untouchable people who are just at absolute peak core. Do you feel like you're humanizing yourself, which makes you a lot more relatable?
I'm doing what to myself?
Humanizing.
Humanizing yourself, like
But
actually being
but
yourself.
but aren't we all human?
We are all human, absolutely are. It's
So,
just
so why am I supposed to be or portray myself to be anything other than human?
I
No
agree.
weapon formed against him shall prosper. Because guess what? He done took all the weapons out your head. Oh, the pastor, he was looking at my I sure was. You got a low cut shirt.
That
Hey, look at
nigga
that.
real.
I don't
telling
like
you.
fucking
I think it's
boys. What's
more
wrong
about
with you?
self-control, though, right?
Huh?
That nigga
So I think
real,
it's more
bro. He
about
real.
like self-control, right? Because like as being a pastor, it's like what separates you from the world.
Nothing, bro.
Well,
Bro, you
well,
gotta
He
have self
human. He
control.
human, bro.
That's a good
but
question.
I go back and say
Hold
this.
on.
I
Go
say
ahead.
I
this
said that.
also.
I said.
What what is the world? Because you say it's the world, does it mean it's the world for me? I think that we are all on this journey by God to live our own lives and not to judge other folk by what we assume is wrong. And that's the reason I correct people when we start talking about cussing and people want to call me the cursing pastor. I ain't the fucking cursing pastor. There is a difference
Yes.
cussing and cursing. Cursing means when I tell you you're a no good motherfucker, you ain't never been shit, your mammy wasn't shit, and you ain't gonna be shit. All the rest of your life, you're gonna be a no shit motherfucker. I have cursed you. I place a curse on your life. But when I just tell you you a stupid motherfucker, that's what I think you are. You're a stupid motherfucker. The word motherfucker does not curse you.
Hey, on that
Me
point.
cursing
Oh, I
you
say that to
is
my girl all the
saying
time.
And
what
the words of the cussing pastor.
Man, that
Telling
huh?
you.
nigga, that
Yes,
nigga is
Lord.
Hey, so
real, yo.
how is a typical service at your church? Like outside of the fucking and all that. Like outside, what is it typical? Like what do you teach?
What is what, brother?
What do you teach? Like the brother asked you as a pastor, how would you be with the world? So, in the Bible it says, love not the world, neither the things in the world. So you as a pastor, like what do you actually teach outside of fucking and cussing?
But
I hate to ask you
again,
this.
tell me what you think is the world. The the church has told you not to drink, but Jesus turned water to wine.
Yeah, that's not a bad. You can have a drink. Like,
Okay,
yeah, what I'm speaking from is from the Bible. You know what I mean? So drinking is in the Bible, having sex is in the Bible. But what I'm asking you is, what do you teach in your church?
I teach people treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's
You
it.
have no room. You have no room in the thing that we call life to hold what somebody else personal choice is about their life over there. I remember several years ago I went on the T.S. Madison TV show, and I got a lot of flack from people from the church that said, "Oh, T.S. Madison is transgender, homosexuality. I shouldn't be on that show." I said, "Well, when you start talking about homosexuality and talking about where I should not have been, when you declare that the church is going to not have homosexuals playing the organ, directing the choir, preaching from the pulpit, when you declare that homosexuals cannot have a focal point in the church, then you come to me and tell me that what I did, being on the stage, being on TV with a well known homosexual person, that I did something wrong. When the church has homosexuals running in church, talking about they've been delivered and all of that stuff. When we get to that stage, that our lives are better than everybody else's, and that we can hold judgment on everybody else, then you talk to me. Until then, shut your fucking mouth, cause I'm who I am, and I judge nobody
But that's not
by.
explaining like what you do in your church. So I get you I agree with the part about the homosexuals in the church. They don't say nothing about them. But in your church, like, what's your church life like? Like, do you preach a sermon? Do you like what do you do?
Well, I mean, and Iris could tell you, yeah, I preach.
Okay.
I preach
And
very
what would be the message?
well. It's according what the message is for that day.
Mm.
I did a sermon virtually a couple weeks ago called "What Does That Mouth Do?"
Oh shit.
Oh my
Oh
God.
shit. This nigga is
Let me go.
too
I'm gonna go
real.
look that up. Maybe we can play a little bit
That
of it.
nigga
And
is
Go
and
get
too
it.
so
Go get
real.
it, R&B.
okay, and
Oh
so
shit.
And
good night.
and
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 what
and,
was the subject
and
about? Well,
the sermon was about the fact that the Bible says that life and death is in
his
the
name is dumb.
power of the tongue.
That's
Right.
real. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we deal with the destruction that is in our lives, did we speak these negatives into realities in our own lives?
Damn, that's deep. That's deep, Pastor.
Yeah. So what's your mouth do? What you talking about? You bitter? You talking about you broke? You are impoverished? What mouth do to put you in the impoverished situation? Have you spoke prosperity into your life? Or are you just sitting back, Lord, I'm broke, what I'm gonna do? No, what you're gonna do is get up off your ass and go make some money.
That's some real shit,
Go
Pastor.
and create some industry. Quit thinking that you got to work for the white man to be successful. That you got to be an employee and not an employer. What's your mouth gonna do?
Hmm.
Damn, that's deep. Yo, Pastor, I got a quick question, right? Are you familiar with the situation with Kurt Franklin and his son? You familiar with that?
Yeah.
When his son was being a sucker and Kurt Franklin checked him on that, if you know what I'm talking about. What's your
Mm.
perspective on that?
Well, I think that Kirk Franklin had the right to check him. I mean, that's if that's your son, I think that the son
Was out of pocket.
had
Kurt Franklin said, "I'll break your neck, nigga." That's what he said. But keep going.
yeah. In other words, if you keep talking to me like you're talking about, I'll fuck you up. Okay, that's 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 straight street, brother. You I'm not gonna be your father, and you just disrespect me, but you still want the benefits of being my son. You want the benefits of the benefits that I have. No, motherfucker, you you
Wake that
you
up.
are you are going to respect me. Do I'm gonna break my foot off in your ass. You ain't gonna just treat me like that nigga on the street.
Now, Kurt Franklin had a lot of backlash for that, right? If you was in the same shoes as him, what would your response be to the media and the people that felt like, oh, Kurt Franklin is wrong and need to apologize? Would you have apologized for reacting like that? What would your response have been?
My retreat would have been two words: fuck you.
Just like that.
Just like that. Fuck you. I think I did a video on that. I did so many, I don't know, but I think I did a video on that on a fuck you Friday. Uh, shit, fuck you. This motherfucker ain't gonna talk to me any kind of goddamn way. But you want to sit at my table? You want the benefits? You want my money? No, motherfucker. You gonna act like you grateful if you ain't, motherfucker. Shit.
Well, Pastor, you know I grew up in church. My mom being the evangelist, been in church all of my life. And I was also church hurt. And I'm sure some other people, not just me, are familiar with that. What I've appreciated about you the most is meeting people where they are and not making them feel like they have to be a certain way in order to get the word of God. Because
Mm.
I have walked in numerous amounts of churches where the motherboard look at you like you want their husband, they're not welcoming. It just don't be a good feel. And so I think it's really important to be able to reach out to people that are like are like unconventional, just regular people. And I appreciate that and thank you for that.
Well, thank you. You're not conventional. Hell, I knew a side of your mama that you didn't know. Okay.
God,
Yeah.
Pastor.
Huh?
Are we finna do this today? Okay, go ahead. Let's
Your mama your mama was a evangelist. Yes, she was. We were all in Al Green's church at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Uh, but your mama had a little kinky side as well. And I know you don't
Oh.
want to hear
Apple don't
you don't want
fall
to,
too
Good
far
night.
from the tree.
Good night.
Oh my God. Okay, Pastor,
Let
go
me
ahead.
find them videos.
Well, damn.
Guys, go find them videos.
Damn.
Diesel.
I, I heard you tell me, and you told it on the air one night about these men that was laying in the rain by your house because you wouldn't let them in your house. Where you think you got that? You got that from? You got a little kinky in your DNA, baby. And your mama was a evangelist. She knew the word of God. She taught the word of God. Did did her kinkiness or your kinkiness make you unsaved, not worthy of God's love? Okay,
Not even a little bit.
okay. So because you're a freak or you might be a little of the kinky side, does not mean that God has no use for you. God loves a freak.
Oh
Amen.
my God.
Goddamn right. Shit, I know.
I do too,
Oh my.
brother.
Hallelujah.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying?
Pastor, have you ever hit something in the church?
Yes.
Oh
No.
shit, shit. God
When was the
damn, nigga.
last
Like
time,
where you
Pastor?
now? Where you hit them at in the church? Like what you do? You take them to the back? Like what you?
Well, Iris will tell you in my last church, I had an extremely large office. Uh, and I had a massive couch in my office.
Ah,
Okay.
damn, nigga.
Shout out to 100 Studios.
Do what now?
Oh, that's what you
Oh my
got
God.
going on, huh? That shit you got going on, Pastor. What?
Most definitely.
Hey, so Mr. Thaddeus, like you ain't never hit nothing in that little pool that y'all be baptizing them in.
No, I ain't never hit nothing in the pool,
You
brother.
ain't never hit it in the pool. Oh, you missed out, nigga. You missed out. So look. All right, I'll give you one scenario. 'Cause I got some shit. I've been having some questions for you. So like, you got a man, like, he in the church. He be in the church. His wife be in the church. You done baptized her, so you done seen them titties in the water, nigga. You already know what's going on with that. She crying. She coming to you for some one-on-one counsel. He ain't there. He ain't been doing shit. He cheating. She just say, you know what, Pastor? It's just he ain't been doing it right. I think I just need some loving. What you gonna do, Pastor?
Well, I have a woman now. I met her, oh shit, probably 25, 30 years ago. She still loves me to death. I met her as a grown woman, uh, joined church. She had to be baptized. And when she got baptized, she was naked and just put a white sheet around herself.
Mm.
Big ass.
She had that ass, Pastor.
So
Yes, sir.
that ass was sucking up in them sheets. That ass
Yeah.
sucking.
And great big breastises.
Sisters, say
And,
it
and
again.
great big breastises. And when she was dipped in the water and stood up, all that ass was that'll see all the titties, all the nipples being hard, all of that, the hair
So
on her
Pastor,
pussy,
you in
all
that water too? What
huh?
you do?
I looked.
I'ma react though. Nigga like me gonna react. I can't
Yeah.
control that little nigga down there. I can't control that little nigga down there. You ain't never gave a baptism and the little nigga start getting real?
He was trying to tell us his story of the ass and titties and the how the sheet was resting up against the hairs on her pussy. He was taking us on the journey. Go ahead, finish
Yeah, let
with
him
your journey
talk.
now,
Let him
Pastor.
cook.
Interruptions, please.
And I immediately after uh, that I went after her. Uh, and to this day we are very close friends. I have not fucked her now in probably oh 10 years or more. But every now and then she will text me and tell me because I was good for her. I paid her bills. I took her on a journey of how a man was supposed to treat a woman. So she's still grateful for that. Uh, and the pussy was good. Okay. So I've been there, brother. Ain't too many look, I tell that's the reason I can tell people, ain't too many things y'all done did in the streets I ain't did. And especially when it comes to sex and to a woman, ain't nothing I ain't did.
They did have another question about how that twerking contest at the church came to be, Pastor.
How many holes you hit that night?
It was not a twerking contest.
Thank you.
My my church had a gymnasium, a full court basketball. It my gymnasium would probably hold 400 or 500 people, and we were having a some kind of fundraiser. Uh, we were having and had some blues bands because I also every day on the radio in Memphis and in Mississippi I play the blues and southern soul on the radio. And we had a band in there. Music was playing. We were not in the sanctuary. We were in the gymnasium. The music started to playing, and a couple of them big ass girls started shaking their ass.
You
Somebody
forgot,
said,
Pastor, you was giving away laptops, and two people had it was a laptop that was being given away. I remember.
"Were you there?
Uh huh.
Wasn't you shaking your ass?"
No, sir, I was not.
Well, how you win the
Not that
laptop?
time.
Huh?
That's what
Somebody
it was. He was giving away a laptop, and it was so many people that was in the running for it. They decided to twerk off to see who was gonna get it, and that was on them, not on the pastor. And it wasn't inside of the church, like he said. But you know how stuff get twisted and turned around. That's how it happens.
and somebody took a picture of it, placed it on social media. Next thing I knew, it was on Shade Room and other places like that. So that's what happened. That's the same thing as what happened with the singer Tank and I. Tank and I got into it because a young lady was in my office that had massive, big old titties, and the picture was taken with me laying my head on her bosoms, and it was on social media. Take then they had a little show. I think it was called a cave room or
The man
something.
cave. The man cave.
Man cave, and he went on talking about it was a sin for me to have my head laying on them titties. So I addressed him and said, what you got against a man laying his head on some titties?" I said, "Now there are pictures of you doing dancing and vibrating at gay shows, men rubbing your chest and rubbing your leg on stage. So what would you rather have? Your head laying on some titties women's titties, or you want to lay your head on a man's chest. So that didn't go over too well with Tank.
Not at all. I remember that as well. That was funny.
Hey, how did you become a pastor, Pastor?
Well, I've been, like I said, I've been in church all my life. Um, I was teaching Sunday school probably when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I'm from the old Baptist church. Um, and I just there was a compulsion to be more than just uh, the little choir member and stuff. And I had been basically preaching all my life. I'd go in the bathroom, get the brush, and uh, close the door, and I knew the Bible, and I'd be in the mirror preaching. So it went from there into reality. Uh, in fact, when my mama was carrying me, my mama was my mama was 16 when I was born. Uh, she was told by an old lady at the church that you carrying a preacher in your stomach. And one of the things that as I was growing up, I did want to make that prophecy come true. You know, I wasn't looking uh, to preach, but it became a reality, and I don't regret any of it because it's been a very knowledgeable learning curve in my life.
Okay. I have a question. I see that you and K Michelle had a shouting match.
I
What
hate
was
that
that
bitch.
about?
I don't know what
what
that bitch.
was that's my girl. I love Michelle. She crazy as hell though. But what was that about? Why did you and K Michelle get into it?
Well, I did not know K Michelle. Uh, K Michelle got evicted out of her rental mansion here in Memphis. When she got evicted, in fact, uh, I think her rent was like $10,000 a month, and she got over $100,000 behind. The judge in the case said that she got to go. She went in and painted all the walls uh, pink. She went on to attack the judge. The judge and I were childhood friends. We're friends to this day. And he called me, and I t- I said, no, not big money. Uh, K Michelle, she done got evicted out of her house, and that's where it started. And it just ballooned. It was good for publicity and all of that, especially uh, in the coming out of the cussing pastor. Me going against people like uh, Tank, K. Michelle, and several other nobles. Uh, so that's how that started. And I was in a restaurant one day downtown Memphis, and she was there and her little boyfriend at the time. I didn't know who she was. I went in there. This was a place I eat maybe twice a week. They were advertisers with me. Uh, and she told the owner that if she didn't get me out of the place, she was going to leave. So the owner came to me and I told her, fuck that bitch. I eat here. Y'all buy advertising from me. Fuck K Michelle. And the little bit of pony that her little bit ass rolled in on. Fuck her.
Her and her mammy, huh?
Yeah. So we got into a Charlotte match because I wasn't gonna leave.
And
And
what about I'm sorry, Pastor, go ahead.
what about what?
Tamar Braxton and her mama. What happened with that?
Tamar Braxton's mama came at me. Her and that Judge Eveline were doing
Maybelline.
Maybelline. They were doing a radio show up north. I wasn't even the discussion. The pastor, the cousin pastor came up. And Tamar Braxton's mama, talking about how I was going to hell and I wasn't of God and all that. So I did a video. I said, bitch, your daughter's fucking everything that they can fuck. So why the fuck you coming at me? Okay? Uh what I do with my dick is me. Now goddamn it, if you just want some holy dick, tell me that. But don't just be attacking me when I don't even know your goddamn ass.
Not
So
holy
let's
dick.
yeah, holy dick. Holy dick. Shit.
He said shit.
Hello, this is Kenya. I have a question. I heard you say something about your mother. Was you raised by your father? Was he in your life?
My father,
Yes.
I didn't know who he was until he was dead. I was raised by very strong women.
Oh, okay.
So,
Pastor, you ever had any fights in the church?
Uh no.
Nope. Oh, that's cool.
so
Got you.
Hey,
I'd have lost that
that's
bet.
surprising. Yeah, that is really surprising. Speaking of fighting, uh,
Nobody got mad fucking they bitch.
Tawana Murphy.
mm,
I see that she had a restraining order on you at one point. Well, what's the story behind that?
first of all, she didn't get a restraining order. The courts denied her restraining order. 10, 11 years ago, I was fucking Tawana Murphy.
Ooh.
8 days a week. Um, I put her in the business. I paid for her first television show. Um, when her ass got evicted, I put her in another apartment. I took care of her. She wants to beat me in Memphis. I'm known for breaking stories that mainstream media can't get the information on. So that's what she wants to be. So she attacks me. So last year it started with the lie that I raped her when we were together. I said, "No, bitch, you don't no man rape you 6, 7 times in a goddamn week, and you like it, bitch." I said, "No." I said, "Now I've did a whole lot of things with a whole lot of women, but can't no woman ever tell you I took no pussy. You bitches be lining up to give me that goddamn pussy. So, and I ain't took uh no pussy. So it went from one thing to another. In fact, I got locked up twice because of her last year. But all those charges have been dropped.
For
I
clicking
won
like
a
on a post, right? Was it like
uh,
clicking like? Did you get arrested for clicking like on a post or something like that?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And see, Pastor, I warned you about her when she first came up. I texted you. And I told you it's something wrong with this story because I remember when you brought her on the TV show, It was about the pastor at Golden Gate or something like that. And she said she was at that church and the pastor raped her. And then she went to another church to talk to that pastor about the pastor that raped her. And that pastor raped her too. I said, no, 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 pastor. There's something wrong with this lady. But I think you was just thinking with your dick that time. But I'm going to mute up.
Yeah, but it was something wrong with her, and her pussy ain't good enough that everybody wanted to take it.
I really want to know, right? Because you said that she didn't have a restraining order. So what rights did they have to take you? Because it said that you clicked like on the post based on, and like they had the right to take you because of the restraining order. So why did they take you for
Uh,
clicking like on the post? Like what was the story behind that?
the,
Where they
the,
felt like they had a right to?
no, she never got the restraining order. When you file for a restraining order, they give you a temporary restraining order until you go before a judge. So during the period, uh, and here's what she got mad about. I said on the air that Tawana Murphy had good pussy. Okay. And what woman gets mad at a man for saying you got good pussy? Hell, I thought it was a goddamn compliment. Cause her mouth was better than the pussy. So, uh, and I said these things on air. I don't know whether she was uh, embarrassed or what. I was arrested because she went back, and there were some police officers that don't particularly fond of me. Gave her a warrant saying that I violated the temporary because we were not supposed to have any associations whatsoever. I wasn't supposed to like nothing or something of that, which my lawyer went to the DA and said, "Well, you violating his Second Amendment, his constitutional rights. How you gonna tell a man what he can and can't say? That is not criminal." So we went there. I spent my 12 hours in jail. That's mandatory on a domestic situation. Uh, but I survived through it. All charges have been dropped. All that she did last year has been dropped. So, you know, uh, Tawana Murphy is just another bad decision that I made in this thing called life.
So do you think you have a lot to do? Because I heard you say that she basically is like trying to mimic you and wanting to be another you. Do you feel like you mentored her to that space, that place that she's in any way, that you're
I,
responsible for her fame?
I think that I created this monster, and her ego is out of whack. She has not near the followers or the clout that I have in the city. So I think it's jealousy, envy. Uh, that's my thinking and my take on Tawana Murphy.
If she wanted you to hit that ass again, would you hit it?
I don't want that ass no more.
Okay.
Some pussy you just turn down. It's some pussy that's just like a drug, and they told us to say no to drugs. I don't want no more of that pussy. That pussy comes with liability and troubles and headaches and shit. I don't want no more of that pussy.
Please don't.
You want that peaceful pussy, huh, Pastor?
Yeah, that's the only kind of pussy I want.
I'm
At
grown.
66 years, let me bust a nut and go head on. That's that's leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Not go ahead. I don't know. Lord
Yeah.
have mercy.